Howdy, Eggs. It's another Cull and Good Bull for Bonfire 2024 with Cut 8, the last regulation cut of the Bonfire 2024 season. Also noteworthy in that it was the last cut after 17 years of being around Bonfire, the last cut for Ace. Last time he'll be in the woods. And also a weekend with a second shooter. My daughter came out and took some photos, and she's with us tonight. Say howdy.
Hi. Howdy.
Thanks. That's better.
Sorry.
And we're gonna look through all these, and I'll have some questions for what she might have been looking at, and if anybody has any questions for me or Lily Pad, as they call her in Leggett, I know you love that. Shoot them in the chat, and we'll answer them. Away we go. So we're starting today with the yellow pots walking into the woods. Got in a little early, and I noticed. So this is a photo I took, and I noticed what we did. We synced up the times so that we could see the time on both of our cameras would be exactly the same, and we could kind of compare what we were looking at. And I noticed that Lily Pad, damn it, Lil was drawn to the same tree that I was when we first got to this property. This is that tree we've talked about in past editions that you walk in front of, you walk by down that path to get into the woods. So that's what Lil's looking at. Then I'm looking at this over here. The yellows were cheating. They were walking up to the gate. Here's you one. So they're coming up to the gate waiting for the juniors to call for yellow pots and butt pots. They're cheating, trying to make it a short run. So if I'm not mistaken, yeah, at this moment, right here, I was sending a text. I was typing out the text, and I never sent the text. I was typing out a text to the juniors that said, they're cheating. The yellow pots are standing at the gate. Trying to give them the idea that, maybe they should call them from somewhere else. And I was so proud. I was so very, very proud that I didn't have to send that text. They were already ahead of me, and they were about as far away from that gate as you could possibly be when they made their call for yellow pots and butt pots. Now, Lil is shooting with the first camera that I ever shot with. And it's been a long time since I've used it. This is the camera that I mount to the light poles at Burn to do the time lapse now. That's pretty much the only time that this camera gets used. And so I forgot how tricky it is to shoot with this camera. The sensor on my camera, I've gotten accustomed to. It's just it can deal with low light really, really well, and I got a lot of latitude with that. And this camera's a little frustrating to work with, isn't it?
Yeah.
There were a few to start with that were, because it's low light, and it can be a bear getting used to the low light with this camera that she's shooting with. But I was impressed that she stuck with it and kept trying to figure it out and didn't chuck the camera into the woods after a while. Because it can be frustrating when you're seeing something and you're getting used to a piece of equipment. I really like the way that one's framed.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one's yours for the record. I like the way that one's framed. And I like seeing the motion that indicates that something is happening. People are heading in a direction. Yeah, it can be frustrating when you're seeing something and then every time you take the picture and you check on it, it doesn't look the way you were seeing it. So I appreciate the stick-to-itiveness. Good job, Lil. So you knew that this was going to be Ace's last day too.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yes, I was good.
A little sad? You little no, not a little sad.
I was deeply distraught.
Well, we're on an Aggie podcast. You can't lie.
I wasn't sad.
I'll be honest. I was a little bummed out. But it's only fair. He's been working his ass off for a long time. And honestly, every morning that I was coming out, every morning, he's still trying to act like everything was fine, like his legs didn't hurt. Okay. And he just dragged himself through every day. But I know when he's trying to hide something from me. That was something that when we found out that he's a border terrier years ago, got him at 4 weeks old. He was dumped on Northgate, and we got him and found out, or trying to figure out what he was, and looked like he might be a border terrier puppy. And we called the breeder, and they said, "Yeah, there's no way that you have a border terrier unless you bought one from, from me or one of these other breeders." I believe this one's yours. We're like right in the same spot, huh? We're right next to each other. They said, "Oh, there's no way that you've got a border terrier. It's just not possible." You'll note, by the way, real quick, the juniors are wearing sweatshirts. Lil had a sweatshirt on. This was the first time since the second or third week of cut that it made sense to wear sleeves. It has been hot. I thought it was going to wind up being cool, but it has not been that. I don't see my picture very much. I don't often see my picture.
Where you're in it?
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't happen to me very much.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Oh, that's a great thing. I hate having my picture taken.
I thought you were complaining.
Not complaining. I just don't like having my picture taken.
You're in every picture.
That's true. You put my business on the street.
Said my name.
All right, fair. Truce. So, anyway, they said there's no way you have a border terrier. All snobbish, like nobody dumps a border terrier kind of thing. And then they started asking, well, tell us about its hair and all this stuff. It's kind of like a sandy, light brown color. And sun, I say it every week. The sun on this property, sunrise is freaking beautiful. Anyway, so sandy brown, and she said, well, what's the tail like? And I said, well, it curls up a little bit. And she goes, oh, see, I knew you didn't. She's like, does it come straight off of the back, or does it come from farther down the butt? I was like, no, it comes right off the back, like right off the spine. His tail comes straight off his spine, doesn't go down and then come. She said, okay, well, that's interesting. And then she said, all right, this will seal the deal. Does he have a black spot at the base of his tail? And I said, oh, holy mackerel, how did you know? And then you can tell that surprised the hell out of her. She said, wait, so it's a black, about the size of a quarter? I said, yeah, it's about the size of a quarter. It's a black spot. We've been trying to wash it off. It won't go away. Well, damn, you have a border terrier. Because that apparently is this hallmark of the border terrier, this black spot at the base of their tail. And Ace was defective because his tail curled instead of sticking straight out. It had a curl in it, and he had a bit of an underbite, which apparently is a big no-no. But otherwise, border terrier. And one of the things they told us about the border terrier breed to be aware of, here's a good one. I like that. Is that one of the things they warned us about the border terrier breed is that they will never let you know when they're hurting. They'll hide it. And that has been the case with Ace. Always been the case with Ace. He hides it. Doesn't he?
Yep.
Well, he fakes being hungry. He's always acting like he's hungry. Like 5 minutes after you feed him, he's pretending like he's hungry.
Maybe he's just hungry.
Or it's possible he's a bit of a fibber. So there's Lechner walking in. Hey, looky there. That's you. This is a pot that Leggett made your first year. Was
I
it?
remember that.
Wait. Did they make? They made you an axe your first year.
Yeah, I remember because I got the axe and they were like, we're going to paint it for your birthday or whatever. And they're like, you're going to help me paint it. And then I didn't get to help, but it was pretty cool.
They were, when I asked them if you could cut with them, when you and your mother said, hey, it's about time for Lil to go see what you're doing on the weekends. And so I went to Leggett and said, hey, would it be cool if my daughter cut with you? And they said, yes. And they got so fired up for it. They were so excited for that. We'll make an accent. But I think you got the pot, though, the next year. the next year that you got the pot, or did you get the pot that first year?
I thought I got the pot the first year. Maybe I was using your old pot. I had a white one. There was what was it?
Yeah, Uncle Hutch's or mine. I think he might have been using mine. Maybe I'll have to go back and look at the photo record. Of course, I have that. No pressure. No pressure, but you know, if whatever, if you decide you like being a fighting Texas Aggie, class of 32, no pressure. You do you. Pressure at all. You feeling a little pressure right now? Is that what you're saying? You feeling a little pressure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't feel any pressure at all. Oh no, yeah, I will absolutely disown you if you go to TU. Absolutely, yes, yes. You can go anywhere else though. You can go anywhere else. You can't go there.
Mommy wants me to go to Sam Houston.
Got a good education program.
But I told her then I wouldn't be able to wear the ring. I want to be able to wear my ring. Can't wear my college ring if it's
Yeah,
it's weird.
I don't even know if Sam Houston has a college ring.
They do. It looks really dumb. Here has it, and
Snoop Dogg's cool. Oh God. Oh Lord. That for a segue. See, this is something that first time that you were taking pictures when you were 7. This is something that you just naturally did that really impressed. And so I was not expecting it. I did nothing but put the camera in your hands and go, just do whatever. You naturally just framed things well. Do you like think about it, or is that just what you do?
I don't really think about it. I just think it doesn't look.
That's the hardest thing. All the other stuff, the exposures or whatever, to get the right exposure so things aren't blurred and all that, so that you can tighten up and get that shutter speed just right, all that kind of stuff. That's teachable, that's learnable, but the framing, that's just different. This was yours. Yeah. This is such a great shot. Yeah. Why is it a great shot?
Yeah.
You've got him down in the bottom third, even below the bottom third, pushing the sort of the extreme of the bottom third. You've kept his feet in the shot. That's something that drives me nuts, that I do way too often, where I'll cut off a body part in a way that doesn't make sense in the frame. And I'll lose track of my framing in that way. You've kept him right at the bottom. He's dead in the middle. So, we talked about the rule of thirds, and sometimes rules are made to be broken. You've got him in the bottom third, but you've got him dead in the middle. And what that does is that calls your attention to him, just draws your eye right to that. But then by putting him down at the bottom and preserving that space above him, you create the impression of the wall of trees behind him. If you had just brought it in on him and just made the photo just about him, then you wouldn't necessarily get the context of what's happening behind. You certainly wouldn't get these rays of sunlight coming through the dust and all that. So it's just a really well done shot that, yeah, that's your focus, but that in context is the focus. The trees, the work behind. Really like that shot. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's been a few shots that I've taken that I didn't realize till after I looked at it what all I was doing with them. But if you do really pay attention to, all right, I'm drawn to this and I want to take a picture of this, do that, then you'll find sometimes you don't have to explain it to yourself. You don't have to understand what you're doing while you're doing it. If you're attuned to the situation and you're paying attention, then follow whatever it is you feel like you need to do, and then figure it out later. It's always weird, people trying to, you shouldn't have to explain it while you're doing it. I'm doing it for a reason. I don't know what that reason is yet. I'll tell you later. That's completely acceptable. And so here we're in Leggett. And this was me trying to sneak. That light was just peeking through what she was downswinging on back there. I know this got pretty tough back there too, because we were completely out of the light back there. Were you frustrated enough to give up yet? Did it cross your mind? Oh, good. The thought has occurred to me that now they're only a few years older than you. Remember when you were 9 and you wanted a birthday party? You said you wanted a Dixie Chicken birthday party? And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool. And we got the outside kitchen, and I'll put down some bottle caps, and we'll make it look like Bottle Cap Alley, and I'll do some burgers. And you were talking to me like I was stupid. Like, no, I want my birthday at the Dixie Chicken. And I was like, you're 9. You're friggin' 9. And I was like, so I'm just supposed to take like a bunch of your booger picking elementary school friends to the Dixie Chicken? And then like I was stupid again. You're like, no, Dad, I want you to take my Leggett friends to the chicken. See, I think we were both seeing the same thing here. That light coming through. Hold on. Did this work? Oh. Did it work? What do you think? Did it work? Damn, you know what? I'm disappointed.
Shining off of him.
No, I'm disappointed because I was hoping that this was my photo, and it's not. It's yours.
It didn't shine off.
Didn't shine off of him? How do you mean?
Like, go back to it real quick. wanted it to like kind of make a rim around him, I guess.
Oh, that.
Like you see how it is like right there by his ear, like kind of like a little lining.
Oh, it had the glow around it.
But every time he actually went into the light, he bended over and I couldn't take a picture of it, and I got mad.
It's tough, and this is something that it took me a while to learn, and it was something that your Deepaw taught me. The original Dion McInnes photographer, by the way. My dad was a photographer. Sold his first photo when he was like 6 or something. He's the original. He's the legitimate studied world traveled photographer. But when I started shooting, I was like, Dad, there's these things that I'm trying to shoot and I'm just not getting them, and I don't get it. And we sat down and just kind of looked through the photos, and he's like, wait, is this all the photos that you've taken? Because I would try a shot 3 or 4 or 5 times and then go, well, I guess I'm just not good enough to get it. And he was the one that said, dude, take more photos. Just if you see something and you really want to do it, then just take a ton of photos. That was liberating, because I thought, oh, well, if you don't get it right in 3 or 4 tries, then you might as well stop. How do I tell which one's mine and yours?
Yes.
I just hit the info button, and up there at the top right or top left, show me. And I know that yours has got, that's the dimensions. Or you're using the Tamron lens. That's the image dimensions in pixels right there. So we're still in Schumacher Woods here. One of the seniors was giving me a hard time about taking more photos in Schumacher Woods. I've tried to be focused on making sure I'm making the rounds. These are all yours. So were you trying to get that light in the shot?
Yep.
Very well done. When you start to realize that your lens is capturing light and glare and haze and everything, that can be discouraging, because sometimes it can get in the way of the photo. But when you learn that, hey, that's happening, then it's an extra special trick to learn how to use that. Make that part of what you're doing. Very impressive.
Thank you.
I really like that. Because it also gives the photo like an old-timey feel, like film feel. So to get this shot, you were here. Nice. You didn't do the lazy thing and stay standing up and like you got down there. That's good. Something else your Deepaw said. In fact, I think he taught a class on it for a while. That one of the more important and underappreciated things if you're interested in photography, is paying attention to physical fitness. You don't have to be some kind of Adonis or anything, but you should be flexible and you should be comfortable with getting down and getting back up and moving. And sometimes you got to run. And so it's just little stuff like that. Just, I mean, it's just this simple. This is all you're really looking for, to be able to pop down on the ground and get a photo that gets just the right angle to catch the light just right. I have to confess, I did not pay much attention to that, keeping yourself physically fit for the sake of taking photos for a long time. So I was a bad pupil in that regard. So we got this one coming down. It's frustrating, isn't it? What?
Focus on that behind there,
I wasn't. Yeah, you were.
sorry.
That happens to me all the damn time too. So where it's, what were you saying? Keep going.
Because you didn't teach me the trick of like holding it down on what you wanted and then moving after like 2 hours after these pictures.
Oh, I thought you remembered from the last time I told you.
Last time you told me, like a year ago.
Maybe. I don't know. Keep notes. Where's here's where it gets frustrating. Doing stuff like when we were back in Leggett. Stuff like this. When there's all of this stuff going on and then trying to shoot something through all of this and keeping it in focus. Yep. Once you get the hang of it, once you really practice and get the hang of it, how to put your focus on something and keep that focus from changing, you can do some really cool stuff. But until you get the hang of it, and even, I mean, hell, I think I've gotten the hang of it, and it still happens to me all the time. I got to change my metering and all that, and my autofocus sometimes to get it to stop. Sometimes I even have to go to manual focus, just because I'm trying to shoot through something that's so narrow that keeps taking the focus off of what I want. So we're moving through, and we're into pelt woods. Again, a low light situation, and this is just I've got the luxury of the equipment I have that I can underexpose it and then bring it back up. Camera that I started with, the camera that you're using, it can't do that. It can't bring it back up. It sort of can, but it starts to distort when you do that.
Oh, I messed up on these pictures. They're literally posing, and it's still.
Well, I don't know if this is the deal. Well, it looks like it might have, the focus might have been captured by what's behind. So that might be what happened. It looks like this stuff back in the back is in focus. So that might have been continuing to capture the focus so that what was in the front wasn't in focus. And we did have your aperture wide open to get in as much light as possible. And when you do that, when you open it up wide, that makes your depth of field very narrow. So you don't have a lot of space. It stays in focus when you open it up that wide. But see, look. Yeah, that's definitely what happened. That camera was focusing on this stuff back here, nothing up in the front. But I mean, hell, look what happened to me. Look at how blown out that is. There's nothing, I can't bring that back. Like, that's toast. Why is that cool?
It's like you're taking pictures of two things at once, and it looks cool.
That's a very good way of putting it. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for noticing.
Welcome.
I try and do that a lot, actually. That's I don't know why I try and do that, but I'm constantly trying to do that. Is see how many different layers I can put into one thing at the same time. What?
I want to see something.
Back what we were looking at?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if
Very good eye. It's a very good eye. It's important when you're looking at photos, not just looking at them while you're setting them up, but when you're going back and you're reviewing them, you should have just as good an eye when you're reviewing photos as you had when you were taking them. So you can stop and look at it and go, this was a good catch. I missed this. But yeah, there was an archway there. If you'd have shot it from over here, that would have kind of framed them. That's a very good catch. What I'm frustrated in here is I was trying to illustrate that you were taking a picture of them at the same time. It was hard to get this framed right, and then I couldn't get that framed where you could see your camera lens at the same time. Bummer. Now we're in OC Woods. And he just started the front wedge. Not today, Putin. Wait a minute. Oops. I got a text message. I might have missed something. All right. Anyway, so we're in OC Woods. He set the front wedge and asked me if I wanted to swing. And so I did. Oh, hold on. I was zoomed in. Hold on. Again, this is a dark set of woods. It's tough to shoot in here. That's good though. I like that one. Sometimes I like taking the axe swinging photos where you freeze the axe in the air and everything is perfectly crisp and in focus. Yeah, we're gonna get
way over there.
We're gonna get. I liked that one. I like to do that, but sometimes when you do that, when you just freeze it, it doesn't really make sense what's happening. It doesn't feel the way it felt when you were looking at it. It's cool, but it doesn't feel the way it felt. So I do appreciate sometimes, and I'll try and do it sometimes, where you blur the axe. You keep something still and you let the axe blur. Now, I just jumped on this. I should have paid more attention when I jumped on it. He had already started the front wedge, and pretty quickly, a few swings in, I was like, "Wait a minute, this tree is not gonna go. Uh, this tree is gonna back wedge," and I told him that, didn't I?
Yeah.
So I wasn't caught off guard. I should have looked up though. This tree had a big jog in it that pulled most of the weight back in the other direction. So we just made the decision to make this completely a tree that just had one wedge. And I would not be surprised if they caught a little heat for that tree. Oh, you think they got in trouble? You have not seen trouble. I'm, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Robert if he was trying to be nice because you were there. Because maybe he was trying not to talk in a certain kind of way in front of a young lady. Yeah, I'm sure he knows that we're related. God, if I don't say it out loud, they're still going to hear you whispering. They're just going to be wondering what she's whispering. It's kind of like a reverse Iwo Jima. The Iwo Jima, the Marines raising the flag, and they're all. And they,
Talking about.
wow, wow. I'm sorry to everybody out there. I failed as a father. I apologize. I will fix this. This you've seen this?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, that's Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
So it's like a reverse Iwo Jima.
My teachers never pronounced it Iwo Jima.
How do they pronounce it? Iwo Jima?
They pronounced it Iwo Jima.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
America, I'm sorry. You're not messing around. They pronounced it Iwo Jima?
No, they said Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima.
All right. All right. I've learned a lot today. There's the question there. Are we worried about the burn ban? Nah, no point worrying about it. There is absolutely no point at all worrying about a burn ban because it is what it is, and worrying about it isn't going to do any good. You know, Bonfire's got a long track record of if it's not safe to burn, if it's not safe to host people, then you just postpone it, and we get huge crowds when we postpone it, and people are very motivated when we postpone it. So, you know, there's a burn ban. The long-term forecast does not look good. The only forecast that looks halfway decent is the short-term forecast. And the short-term forecast says it should be raining, but go look at any of the models and it's not going to be raining. So we're probably not going to get any rain. That's fine. Bonfire will do whatever it has to do to stay safe. And, If we don't burn this year on time before the TU game, if there's any good news, it's going to be that, frankly, I don't care for Texas to feel like that we do anything because of them. And so if we can remind them that they don't matter and we don't build Bonfire for them, we build Bonfire for Aggies, then that's a win in my book. So, worst case scenario, the worst case scenario is not that bad, is my point. But for the record, and to be clear, it's not looking good. It's all right, though. So this was a little photoception, huh? Were you expecting that you were going to get the photo before I saw you?
No.
You were expecting that at some point I would look up?
Yeah.
Why is
Did you have yours on a different?
why is mine so much darker than yours?
Yeah.
Well, this is what we were talking about when we were back in the dark, and I was telling you that I learned a lot of what I learned about photography and lighting. I learned at Stack Site that first year that I was shooting, and I learned to take advantage of reflected light. Because it's Stack, that's all you have is reflected light. The ambient light disappears into the dark, so you've got to put yourself in a position to get the reflected light. And if you can get the reflected light in a dark space, then even just reflected light in a dark space will be more than enough light for a really well lit photo, right? I am shooting against the reflected light. Look, that light is behind you. Right? So, and then you got all these trees back here too, and the light is behind those. So that's creating much less light in the direction that I'm shooting. Whereas in the direction you're shooting, it's all reflected light. All of that light is bouncing back. There's nothing that's taking the light away. Right? Good question. And so that one of the things that you also have to learn when you're working with reflected light and learning how to leverage and take advantage of reflected light is that necessarily to get yourself in a position to get reflected light, you're putting yourself in a position to put shadows on the things that you're taking pictures of. So sometimes you've got to correct yourself and reposition yourself and step back and everything to get your shadow away off of that. But then if you're back away, then you have to zoom in so that you're back to the framing that you want. But then when you zoom in, unless you have a prime lens, then when you zoom in, that's going to restrict the amount of light that's coming in. So you have to change your exposure. In this case, we couldn't move because we had the brush pile behind us. And they're moving it. Here, we started shooting the same thing at the same time. We're in Lechner Woods now. They're downswinging together. One's me. See, look, that one's me. Look how blurry it is. And see, this is too much axe blur for me because now you can't even tell. You can't even tell what's going on. They just felled this tree as we walked in. And I know you got, what, test tomorrow or something?
Yeah. 7.
Sucks to suck. So let's jump ahead to those axe photos you were talking about, and then I'll finish up the rest of this so that you can get some rest before your test. Because how else are you going to get a full ride scholarship to go to Texas A&M University? No pressure. I don't usually end up taking a picture of somebody doing work looking directly at me. I thought for a second that that was you, but no, it was me. Is that you trying to do the light trick again? Oh, load?
Yeah.
Did you know? Did you know? I don't know if I ever told you. Did you know that I loaded? Did you know that? Did I ever tell you that before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I ever told you that before.
You told me that when we were there, and you were like, I haven't been on a load truck in so long. You know, I used to do that back in college. Yeah, you told me before. You're like, sure, let me tell you again.
The only you you get, you know, you should practice talking. That's all I'm saying. All right, so we're gonna look at these real quick before we get to load and those axe photos that you were talking about. So we walked up on Hart. I was so proud of this. I was so proud of this, honey. You did such a great job. We walked up on Hart, falling this tree. You can see here on the left. This on the left is I am right up against this other tree that's probably as big as this one that they're cutting down. So the tree's coming this way. I am zoomed in a little bit. I am zoomed in a little bit, a lot of bit, but we're still, trees coming this way. But I wanted you in a cool position on this tree. If nothing else, not even to take the photo, but just to see it from this angle. I think, yeah, these are yours. Right, also, just to the side of that tree. And this was just about 2 seconds before it went. And you see, he's looking at us. I think she's looking in our direction. He may be looking in our direction. He's still, and look at that shit-eating grin, right?
Yeah.
Like this tree is coming this way. And so after, I don't know, maybe 1 second after this photo, Ace was right there with us. I picked Ace up and I said, all right, let's back out, back out, back out. And right then somebody goes, headache, and then the tree comes down. There they are cleaning off that tree. This is the tree that we were sheltering behind, shading behind. And there you are. And that's about where you were standing. And there is a piece of a limb. And you are holding it right over where you were standing. Baby's first Widowmaker. No. What'd you think of that? What was that like, being in that spot, so close, that tree? What was that like?
Didn't realize that there was something gonna come down on my head.
For the record, it did not come down on your head.
No, it didn't.
For the record, your old man exercising experience and situational sagacity got you where you needed to be, and the limb never came down on your head. Correct.
No, that was all my spidey senses. That wasn't.
Oh, that was all you. So you inherited those instincts from your father, is what we're saying.
No, I feel bad because there was a person behind me and I was trying to back up, but I stepped on his foot and he didn't move. So I was just like, okay, I must be fine then. But I think he was trying to get me hit by a limb because he didn't move. Also, Mama didn't know what a widowmaker was. So when you told her, it was funny. She loved the message.
I know, I saw it. I said baby's first widowmaker, and then she hearted it.
And I told her when I came back home, I was like, why did you love it? And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, you loved the message that said baby's first widowmaker. And she's like, I just thought that meant you cut down a tree or something. I was like, no, I almost died.
Aw, so sweet. Well, see, we taught your mother something.
Why did you gaslight?
Oh my goodness, hold on. I need another drink.
That on purpose.
Oh, thanks, Lil. So at this point, Hart's actually got 2 trees going at one time. They've already got this one down, and they're downswinging on a few of them. I believe this one's yours. Yeah, that's yours. Great shot. And see, to me, this is one of those shots that you're taking a picture of 2 things at one time. To me, there's the person who's doing work, but then like how would I explain it? Something like this would be a shot. Then there's that too. So there's like, it's like a couple stories happening at the same time. All right, so let's work our way up towards load. I want to do a couple quick ones in the core woods too while you're still here before you take off and I finish the rest of these. This was, you remember I kind of freaked out a little bit. We're taking pictures of them downswinging, and at the same time, I'm kind of looking around trying to see what else is going on. And when I turn around, I see kind of what you were talking about earlier with the arches. Mm-hmm. I see this gap in the Yopon and people on the other side of that carrying brush. And I just missed somebody walking through there, and I was like, God. And look, it happened to me. Can't see that there when I'm focused where I need to be. Looks like shadows, but really what's going on there? This stuff. But anyway, so they're carrying stuff through that opening, that window. Hurry up and get that before they were done with what they were. Then you did the same thing. That is a good one. I like that. I do those a lot. Those were, I think we were talking about this. Like, most of the photo is out of focus or whatever. Bokeh or bokeh or whatever they call it. Here we're trying to go see FHK. That little fraud was trying to pretend like he needed help. Actually, that's not what was happening. He kept trying to get in FHK's food. He wasn't following you. So you had to finally just go pick him up because he kept trying to get in their food. It's all back here. So more from Heartwoods. That's where we are. No, are we in FHK? No, that's right. We went to FHK and there was a heart in FHK. That's what happened. And these are where some of those photos you were talking about. This you or me? This is you.
That's not the one I liked though.
But this is a great one. This is exactly the amount of action and stillness, right?
Yeah. It was more zoomed in on.
Yeah, you were real tight on it. One. That's a good one. I like that one. And these are the sort of photos that I started getting good photos like this when I really started taking your Deepaw's advice and just, I'd take 50 photos, 50 frames of just trying to get this. So while you're shooting that, there, I think that's the one you showed me. Is it?
I showed you a lot of them.
Or is this one?
I like the one with the bunch of wood chips.
Yeah, those are all you. This one, I think this one might be me.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So we're like right next to each other while this is. That's cool.
It doesn't look that big.
Right? That smaller wedge.
Yeah.
Hmm. There was a while there. This axe here is a Fiskars.
Yeah.
There was a while there where I had an internal policy that I would not take pictures of people swinging with a Fiskars because it's a toy axe. This is the one, right? That's just on principle. An axe handle should be made of wood, and an axe should be made of metal. You're right. This bourbon does smell like Kentucky. Oh, at the distillery tour?
Yeah.
That bourbon chocolate, whatever? Yeah, that was good. We did the Buffalo Trace distillery tour.
My brother got the wrong idea from it because he got the chocolate. Then later he was walking around funny, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Chocolate had one too many in it."
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, you lush. You lush. Gosh, we should check with his teachers and double check what he told them he did over the summer. What'd you do? Oh, I got drunk at a distillery. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, here's the load ones. They made those.
I'm so confused with those shirts.
You serious? You're confused about what those shirts are?
Kind of.
Did you? Does this face look familiar? All right. So remember this face.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see if you got one. Here you go. That is the junior on the truck. So he's been running load this whole season. So all these, so they found this photo of him. They found this photo of him and they had custom shirts made without telling him. So then they show up to load all wearing this shirt.
The school did that with my friend. It was my idea.
So why did you take this photo?
I don't really remember. I remembered that I thought, I don't know, there was a reason that I took it, but I don't remember. Cool.
You know why I like it?
Why?
Because I consider myself really, really lucky to be able to spend time in this space with leaders like this. And to the rest of the world, they're college kids, you know. And moreover, to the rest of the world, they're probably college kids just doing some crazy thing out in the woods, cutting down trees and wearing shirts with other people's faces on them, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, these are some of the most extraordinary leaders that anybody could ever hope to meet. And they're just in college, right?
Yeah.
They're doing and learning things now that people are going to go through the fanciest, most expensive, whatever colleges in the world, and they're not going to get a fraction of what these guys are experiencing. And to just be able to be around them while they're going through this, putting themselves through this and putting each other through this. And then every now and then, maybe one of them will come up and, you know, just talk or ask a question or whatever. That's, you know, I consider myself really, really lucky. So to have a photo like this, we were just chatting about load stuff. This to me, like this is, I'm really glad you got this. Thank you. Sometimes it takes an outside perspective, an outside look to remind me of what it is that I get to see and a small part of, just be around. And it does remind me of, like, I used to do that too, you know. So there's a question. All right, so now we've seen cut. We're looking at load. Not stack yet. That's not till next week. So far, what is your favorite part of Bonfire?
What do you mean favorite part? Like favorite like action that they do?
What
Or
whatever. Favorite action, favorite job, favorite
well,
whatever.
I like how everybody's like been like committed. They're all committed to one thing and they work really
One more time. I'm not sure if it got that.
I like that everyone has a thing that everyone one thing that everyone can like come together and do and that everyone's all agree on and and that they all just work really hard at it every year and it's just I know that I mean obviously not everybody agrees with everything but this is one thing that everyone whether you like it or not you come together and you work together to do something big. Cool.
Well said. Very well said. It is fun. Like, and you got that photo of me talking to somebody. Um, got that photo of me talking to somebody, and I get to talk to a lot of folks, and I discover that there's, you get to know something about these Aggies, and you get to know enough to realize, oh, wait a minute, from what you were telling me earlier, you could not be any more different than this other Aggie that I was talking to before. Uh, because just getting to know you a little bit, y'all are two very different people, and you have two very different perspectives on things. And you might probably vote different or whatever, have different allegiances and different, but in this space, you're next to each other on a log. You're both underneath it together. When you get the job done, you celebrate it together. You go and you take a break and you're drinking from the same water bottle. You're setting the same goals. That is cool. That is very, very cool. Glad you got these too. Ace's last visit. Not just this is Ace's last day, but this is Ace's last visit to the Corewoods. God, they were happy to see him, weren't they?
Yeah.
Everybody was happy to see him. Did you know just how much people appreciated him being around?
No, I didn't. That's why I told you. Wow, Ace has more friends than me.
Why is it sad that he has a lot of friends? Oh,
Sad
you
that
mean
it's sad that a dog
uh,
has more friends than me.
oh, it's sad for you because you don't have friends. Got
I
it.
have friends.
Got it. That is sad. You're
I-
right. That's sad.
I have friends.
I hope you have friends one day.
You're a yapper.
Oh my goodness. There's one of the juniors. In the background there, I told you this. In the background, that's E2. That's my buddy Colin's old outfit. Was this you again? That's a good shot. That's a very good shot. The horn?
Yeah.
So in the case of, if there's lightning, some kind of incident, whatever, that you need to get people out of the woods, you blow that horn and everybody knows immediately. Drop what you're doing, whatever the hell you're doing, drop it, get out of the woods.
So they're just gonna go to their car and drive away because the woods is like that's. You're in the woods. You're not gonna get out for it.
Very good question. You either go to load site or you go to the parking lot, whichever one is nearest. So basically, get to a wide open space out of the woods. Now, if it's obvious, right? Like if there's a storm coming and that horn blows, well then go to the parking lot, get in your car. So context clues. If there's not a storm coming and that horn blows, then you go to load site or to the parking lot because the concern is not getting struck by lightning. There's something else that's happening. Good questions. No, if there's a medical situation, right? If somebody gets hurt, to my knowledge and to my recollection, that horn was blown only once that I know of. And that was all the way back in 2008, maybe 2007. Is that right? Was it 2006? Anyway, if there's an injury, you want to get people out, cleared out of the way. And in this case, this again, 2006, 2008, it was a long damn time ago. Somebody had actually broken their leg, and because of how far out we were, a helicopter had to come and pick them up. And so we needed everybody out of the woods so that we could clear the parking lot.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me this story.
Yeah.
Oh, you told me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But we had to get everybody out, and everybody went to load site. That was the nearest. And then once you get everybody there, then you say, okay, everybody go to the parking lot and get your cars out of the parking lot. And that's the whole point of that horn. Get everybody to a place together where you can communicate to them all together at the same time. No playing telephone or anything like that. No playing the telephone game or anything like that. But another good question. So at this point, and we've only got a little bit more to go. You about ready? You about ready to go to bed? Get ready for your test tomorrow? Well, I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you hanging out at Cut to start with and answering some questions I had for what was going through your head. You did some good work. You like it?
Yep.
You like Bonfire?
Yep.
Glad you do. Well, daughter, have a good night. Good luck on your test tomorrow. I'm going to finish these photos here after she goes to bed.
Okay.
Love you, daughter.
Love you.
Good work. You did great work. Look on your test. All right. That was fun. Just got some more photos to go. E2, like I said, that was my old buddy Colin's outfit. One of my groomsmen at my wedding, in fact. So, of course, he's been getting a lot of pictures as the season's been going. And the really cool thing that happened here was, all right, so we're both shooting together here in the core woods. And shortly after this tree fell, look at that dust coming up the whole works. I had not been on a truck in a long time. I mean, it had been years since I'd been up on a truck. 3 or 4 years. And somebody reminded me that this cut was the last day that I was going to get to be on a truck. I mean, I could get up on a truck for dress log, dorm log load, but you got to be on top of your game for loading those logs. And B, that's somebody else's last chance as a student to be on the truck. So I don't want to be up on the truck for dress logs. Let somebody else have that shot. And somebody else who's got the physical fitness and youth and vitality to handle that anyway. So anyway, point being, today was my last day. When we're out here shooting was my last day to get on the truck. And so I intended to do that. And if it hasn't happened already, I ended up, taking off to go get on the truck and just consulted with the butt pot out there to let him know that, that's my daughter back there. She's not fragile. Communicate to her clearly if she needs to be communicated to. I'm going to go get on a truck. And so the rest of these photos in the core woods was her taking photos in the core woods. I was out on the truck, so that was cool. I asked her how it went, and she said, man, I was really hoping that they would get this tree down sooner, but they didn't. They didn't get this tree down while she was there. That's a great shot. Again, not me. While she's taking pictures of that, I'm taking pictures of somebody holding a butterfly. And this was cool. Walton asked for this one. One more shot with Ace. So Ace's last trip to load. Oh, shoot. Oh, this is cool. Oh, cool. So while I'm taking these photos, I didn't realize she was sneaking up. Oh, that's cool. Oh, damn. I'm glad she got that. That's fun. Awesome. If you go look at the last shift photos every year, um, look real close at the last shift photos. And with the exception of maybe one year out of all the years we've been doing the last shift photo, uh, Walton is holding ace. So Ace has never not been in a last shift photo. There was one year Walton got sent home a little early before the last shift photo because they had cut up somebody's dress log, so they had to go home. So they were not holding Ace in that photo, but Ace has been in every single photo. So look real close. With the exception of one year, Ace is with Walton, so that's cool. Looks like she got her old man on the truck. Oh, look at that. Like a coward. Look at that. Where's the aggression? Come on, dude. Unfortunately, I didn't get to stay up on the truck for too long because we had a meeting that I had to pay attention to. I did have to get off. I think I just got through the basers. She did a great job capturing this dust. We've talked about it. It's pretty aggressive. Just enjoying looking how she was seeing things. So we wrapped up with load there. She was taking photos while I was still having our little meeting. And then we headed out and then made one more stop in FHK. I didn't realize that at some point she had actually gone back to FHK with Ace for a little bit. So we went back there, and we were mostly going back there just to make sure that FHK got a visit from Ace before we left. So this was a quick little little trip back there. FHK was working the fence line. They had some of their deads, some of their olds working the fence line, getting some of those trees close to the fence line, but trees that you definitely don't want to fall onto the fence line. So we got a few of that. And called it a day. It was a great day. Great cut. Great last regulation cut of the season. Just it's been an awesome cut. Awesome season. Tomorrow is center pole unload. So of course I'm gonna be there for that. Get the camera charged tonight. Get the flash drives reset tonight. We'll be out there for center pole unload, and then center pole raising will be on Friday, window sticks on Saturday, dress log cut on Sunday, and then we're into stack season 103%. So it's gonna be a busy week, and then we're right into stack. And as somebody asked, yeah, there's a burn ban right now. It is an intense burn ban situation. It's a drought, a legitimate drought that is spreading across multiple counties and getting worse all the time. It doesn't appear that there's any end in sight, but to the Fighting Texas Aggie, that's, it doesn't matter. What matters is building Bonfire, and you burn it just so that you can build another one. It doesn't have anything to do with TU. It didn't have anything to do with LSU. It didn't have anything to do with Missouri. It's never had anything to do with anything but who we are, not who we're not. And so these Aggies are executing against that mission and that vision, and they're doing a damn good job at it. And come what may, rain or not, they're going to get Bonfire built, and we should all be really damn proud of that. I know I am, and they should be proud of themselves. It's been an outstanding season, and they've represented themselves and all of us very well, and I deeply appreciate that. Likewise, I appreciate my daughter spending some time this weekend. You've seen in past weeks, my other kids have come out and cut, and it was fun to spend some time with my daughter photographing Bonfire. And I'm glad she had a little time to share with us tonight to talk about what she saw when she was photographing. So, yeah, damn, hell of a good year. Follow Bonfire on Facebook, Instagram, follow the gallery, Facebook, Instagram, here, YouTube, subscribe, get the notifications. And yeah, stay tuned, because we got a lot coming, Aggies. Build the hell.